Alright, so I'm back, and today we're going to go over the viewer responses for the Rant of the Week from last week. First off, though, I want to show off that my hand is pretty much healed. I know the other day I was saying that it was really bad, and it was. You can still see that blister there, but that... I don't know how well this is coming off on camera, but you can see, like, this blister originally carried all the way over to here, up here, across the fingers, all the way around, and you can see part of it here. It's really kind of hard to see it. There's more of it right there. But originally it went all the way around, and it looked just like this, a whole way around, and then just circled all the way in. So you can kind of see more of it there. But the doctor said, when I checked back with him earlier today, the reason why it didn't stay was because two things. First off, I for the first, I want to say about 12 hours after the burn, aside from when I shot the video, I had my hand submerged in salty ice water. And what the salt does, in case you guys don't know, the salt melts the ice, but the ice keeps it at the same temperature. So it's like putting your hand inside of ice rather than just ice water. It's actually colder than ice. It keeps the water below freezing without it actually freezing. So I kept my hand in that for about 12 hours, which, you know, that killed the burn, essentially. And then I was using this ointment that I got from a friend that's a nurse. It's silver sulfate. It's like $50 to $75 a bottle, something like that. And I was just coating it with this stuff, and it's amazing, because like even this morning, this was about that long when I went to work, and then when I got off work, because I had it all covered in that cream, and you can see how small it is now. So I'm very impressed with this stuff. So I'll know what to do next time if I burn myself, which is very likely. So anyway, yeah, pretty much all better. I'm blown away with, you know, because like I said, I mean, it was just like that color all the way around my hand. I was really anticipating, you know, having that bandage on for a very long time, but now it seems like, for the most part, I'm good. I'm good to go. So should not hinder my reviews like I thought it would. So anyway, back on topic. So last week I did a rant of the week about Toy Biz versus Hasbro when it comes to the Marvel Legends. So let's see what people wrote. Jeff Pern says, that is why I collected Legends figures. Made Galactus, the Sentinel, Apocalypse, and Onslaught. When the Mojo series came out, I didn't want that guy. I don't blame you. He wasn't very awesome and awe-inspiring. It was a very weird choice. But, I mean, he is a big character, so I guess it kind of makes sense, I guess. I don't know. I thought about Ant-Man, but Transformers alternators have been hitting stores. I think he means Giant Man. It's the same character, just if he gets small, he's Ant-Man. If he gets big, he's Giant Man. Transformers alternators have been hitting the stores along with Titaniums. Looking through all the figures, noticed a lot of X-Men, so started looking for the rest of the team. We know where that leads. Then stopped and went full on Transformers. Last Marvel figure I bought recently was Carnage. I want to get him as well. He is badass. I look at him every day on the shelf with Doomsday. Man, you're making me want to pull those figures out of storage and trying to make a display for them somewhere. Seeing Funny John says on YouTube or Google Plus, Oh, he's talking about how I'm not getting the comments like I used to. He says, well, go to my channel, video manager, community. Holy, I missed a comment. Son of a... Well, it yeah, but it doesn't notify me when I get them. That's the thing. I mean, I could look on my recent videos and see comments, but it used to notify me in Gmail when I'm getting comments on my videos, no matter how old the video is. So I have a hard time finding certain comments if it's from somebody that's watching an older video, because I do try and respond to as many as I can, unless it feels like I've responded to the same question 10 times. Pojo 1975 says, hey John, Star Wars is reusing the same molds on the Black Series right now until they start pushing the new stuff out. Even then, they're going to have to reissue R2-D2 and Luke. For First Friday, they are releasing some new, but some of them are the same old figures just repainted and put in new boxes. Makes people think it's a different figure, but there is a bright side for those who don't have the original. They can pick up what they need for their collection. But the price went from $20 to $25 on 6-inch figures, and 3 3/4 figures were $9.99 and are now $12.87. So my question still is, do they recycle the bodies for different characters? Like, does Luke share a body, like have the same body and just different head and details as like Boba Fett? That's what I was talking about. If they make a Spider-Man mold and reuse it for Spider-Man 100 times, maybe slightly variations of Spider-Man, I'm okay with that. But when they use Spider-Man for Ant-Man, like they're using the same exact body over and over and over again for different characters. That's where it's like, I don't know. So, like, I mean, R2-D2, if they make an R2-D2 figure, and they repaint it as, other asteroid droids, I'm okay with that. But if they try and, like, retool it and use it as C-3PO, that's where I'm going to be like, what the fuck are you doing? Because that's kind of what they're doing with Marvel Legends, because some of them are just, like, head scratchers. Like, why would you use that body for this character? Like, Spider-Man into Ant-Man, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Here's what I don't understand. If Hasbro makes so much money, then why is it I see so many of their figures, no matter what kind sold, for less than what the store paid for? Because they have had to, so long, they have to discount them, even seeing them at Ross and Marshall's, which means another store had to sell them cheap because they sell them, for instance, Transformers $5.99. This is what pisses me off. If they would sell the figure at a reasonable prices like $5.99, I'm talking about the price because of the quality. I'd pay $20 for it. It's just, I know that nowadays the figures need help. You never know if you're going to get a decent figure until you take it out of the box. That's very true. And as far as the pricing goes, I know that Hasbro does not sell Marvel Legends figures to Walmart for $20. They sell it for probably like $10, so Walmart can make $10 profit. Guesstimate. I don't work for Walmart. I don't see their behind the scenes. So they'd sell it for that. So when they, sometimes they'll take a loss for it, but eventually it's not that big of a loss in the long run. I'm sure. But that's probably also why they're hesitant to stock as many, and that's also why they're not doing, say, like the alternators. Alternators used to be all over the place, but then they shelf formed so badly that nobody wanted to buy them. So they had to discount them like heavily, and it's just like, and then they're like, well, and Skywarp, MP Skywarp, the first MP Skywarp, it shelf warmed so bad that I got 2 for $20 at one point. And yeah, which was crazy. But at the same time, it's like, then you gotta think from corporate side, like, why would we stock Masterpiece when the last time we did, it shelf warmed so bad we had to take a major hit. But if they actually put out good figures, regardless of the price, the collectors would buy them. Kids won't buy them, and then we'll end up with a bunch of stuff left over. So, kind of have to find a median there. Let's see. Now deluxe figure 8 and up. It has 12 to 20 move to transform it, which normally costs $25 to buy originally. Hasbro has really been disappointing me, not just with the reissues of the same molds, but their quality and the money. I mean, the one changers were out there this year. Some were more expensive than the ones that transformed 12 to 20 times. I think he means steps. I can't wrap my head around it. What is wrong with this picture? Like I said before, they need to fire whoever it is and hire someone who knows toys and collectibles, like the Transformers and other figures such as Spider-Man and Star Wars. Hasbro can train that person on the technical staff. There will always be reissue items, but if done in the right way, no one would care. Hasbro, please help us, the consumer, and listen to John's rants. It is very important for Hasbro to understand where the consumer is coming from. There's so much more we could talk about, but I have taken enough of your time. Thanks for listening, John. Yeah, no problem. That's the concept of this rant of the week. Is I want to. It's almost like talking to you guys. But yeah, I agree. I mean, the company makes so much money, and of course, part of that is because they cut as much cost out as they can everywhere, which I understand. I can get that. I can understand cutting costs, but then it gets to that point where it's like you've taken out the heart and the soul of the toy, and I know it's just a toy and all that stuff, but seriously, when everything's getting reused so many thousands of times, it just gets to that point of like, I don't necessarily want 50s of the same figures, even if they're painted differently. I don't want. I mean, I got my black suit Spider-Man, I got my regular Spider-Man, I got my Spider-Man 2099, and I'm gonna get the Scarlet Spider. That's it for my Spider-Man. I'm not gonna buy any other Spider-Man. I've got my Spider-Man that I like, and I'm gonna put on my shelf. That's it. I'm not gonna buy another Spider-Man. It's plain and simple. Unless he's part of a wave that I absolutely must have. But for the most part, I mean, I could just avoid it. Like that, because, you guys seen how many Marvel Legends I pulled out of those boxes. There's not a whole lot of holes left in my collection because of that. And, while, I'm going to keep my eye on the figures coming out, I'm not going to go out of my way to buy every single thing. I wanted the Hobgoblin, so that's the only reason why I bought the whole Hobgoblin wave. I don't want, I don't want half the figures from that line. So, next time I might just go on eBay and buy the Build-A-Figure, and then buy one or two of the figures that I liked. Moving on. Matthias Morkovus, for Hasbro, Star Wars is $1 billion import. Is $10 billion important? Yeah, Star Wars does sell better than Transformers. I will not argue that point ever. Rectangular says there's a reason Toy Biz went out of business. Yes, there is a very good reason why Toy Biz went out of business. It had nothing to do with the product. It had everything to do with the fact that they're at one point they ended up merging with Marvel Comics to make Marvel toys. But so there were, really big on making Marvel Legends. That was their bread and butter. But then Marvel decides that they're going to sell the rights of their toys to, rather than Marvel toys, to Hasbro, which means, and I work in a company that I've seen this happen on the corporate level, where basically what happens is Hasbro told Marvel, hey, you make set amount of dollars on your Marvel Legends. Well, we're Hasbro and we can charge more and we can pay you this much more than they do. So you get more royalties for your figures than what Marvel Toys is paying you. Marvel Comics says, oh, hey, that's a great idea. So we're a heartless company. We're going to sell all our toys to Hasbro. And now the company that is now known for Marvel Legends no longer has the rights to Marvel Legends. And they're left, I think they had TNA Wrestling. I think that was one of their figures that they were selling. And TNA Wrestling versus WWE Wrestling toys, you're done. And if that's your bread and butter, you're done. Just give up now. That's the main reason why they went out of business, is because bad business. Hasbro probably outbid them for the rights to the Marvel Legends, and that's how they lost the rights to those figures. Now, how much of that is accurate, I don't know. That's just what I see from my company. We had, for the longest time, we had USA Today. Everybody loved USA Today. We would get them all the time. But then out of nowhere, corporate says, hey, we're getting rid of USA Today. We're doing Wall Street Journal because that's what's better for the customers. They're going to like this better. We did that, oh my God, 6 months. And not one person wanted the Wall Street Journal. Nobody wanted that thing. Everyone was so mad. I was throwing out stacks of newspapers every day. Just nobody cared. Nobody wanted Wall Street Journal. They all asked, hey, where's USA Today? And then we finally got USA Today back. In other words, Wall Street Journal told the chain, hey, we'll give you this much of a kickback if you make sure that we get the exclusive rights to your company. And they said, oh, hey, that's a great idea. Same reason why we all have to use Dell. We're not allowed to use any other computer systems other than Dell. Are you kidding me? No, I wouldn't. I don't own a Dell. I'll never own a Dell. And the main reason why I don't is because I see the problems with Dell. More than anything, the technical support. I'm not as tech savvy as I want to be. I'm more tech savvy than I want to be. And I'm not tech savvy enough to really know too much about tech. But I know how to keep my computers running. And I'm always working on it at my hotel. I'm always trying to fix these stupid Dell computers. And it has to be because somebody's getting a kickback somewhere. So that's probably why Hasbro got the rights to the Marvel Legends figures, which essentially killed Toy Biz. So yeah, there's a reason why they went out of business. It's not because they were getting it's probably because they were selling the toys cheap enough that everyone was actually enjoying the collection, because from when I was really big in it, some of these figures were fucking impossible to find. I mean, and now they're pretty easy to come across. But seriously, back in the day when Toy Biz was making Marvel Legends, think back. How easy was it to find Juggernaut in the stores? Or Apocalypse? I'm not talking the Build-A-Figure Apocalypse, because the wave was everywhere, because there's two releases of it. I'm talking about the actual Marvel Legends Apocalypse figure. Or the original Red Skull. Or, hey, how about Dark Phoenix? Phoenix was hard enough to find. Dark Phoenix? Oh my God. Some of these things were so hard to find. It was just insane. And, it was pretty popular all the way up till, they really started focusing on the Build-A-Figures to sell an entire wave to get so you can get that Build-A-Figure. So so you ended up with, people buying all the set and then selling the figures for cheap and then selling the Build-A-Figures for really expensive, and then those people that didn't want to hunt down the whole set would just buy the Build-A-Figure, and then they would shelf warm all the crappy figures that nobody wanted from the line. Still had a hard time finding Black Panther and stuff like that. Which is weird because I never even read Black Panther, and I was such a fan of him. I don't know why. I think it's just the look, the claws and the cape. Anyway, sorry. So yeah, moving on. Okay. Mander Matt says Anti-Venom, Toxin, and Sentry share the Hyperion body mold. Yay. Uh, Thanks for the information, seriously. But just, wow. Well, at least I know I'm not going to buy Toxin or Sentry. I have no need for either of those. I have no connection to Sentry aside from one comic book that I own where Moon Knight basically gives him the finger. Which is pretty good. And I don't even know who Hyperion is, nor do I care. I've been collecting Marvel Legends since the beginning, but parted out, petered out by the MODOK wave, as they started to get scarce in my area. And then only have a few figures from the Annales wave. That one looked good. I wanted to get that wave. I know. And I completely stopped until the Iron Monger and Hit Monkey waves in 2013. But after that, they became scarce again. I've only completed the Ultimate Green Goblin and Odin wave since. My Hobgoblin is missing his left arm, Daredevil, and I haven't seen the Ultron, Hulkbuster, or Rhino waves here. At all. Which makes me want to drop Marvel Legends all over again. I don't blame you. Shit like that pisses me off. I get that with Transformers all the time. And I live in Denver, or near Denver. But, like, my Walmart, near where I live, near means 25-minute drive. I asked them about it, but they're refusing to get any more deluxe figures from Transformers in any line until they sell the last of the rat traps, and they have 8 of them. If it was one left, I'd probably buy it just so that somebody can, buy it and then walk to that little Toys for Tot counter and just drop it in. I've done that before with Mud Flap. I had a whole bunch of money, gift cards, and I bought like 10 Mud Flaps and just walked over to the Toys for Tots kids or Ben and just dropped them all in. I felt really bad that that's what they're gonna get, but hey, they get a free Transformers. Somebody. Anyway, I hate dogs. Not my dog. I hate other people's dogs. Anyway, just like kids, you never hate your kids. You hate other people's kids. Anyway, but yeah, it's like sometimes, the figures would just get scarce and shelf warm the ones that you don't want, and the company doesn't want to buy anymore until those figures are gone. And it sucks. It really, really sucks. I mean, I feel I've missed entire waves of certain figures. Let's see. I mean, I've still got sections of the Build-A-Figure Green Lantern at my Walmart, or not Green Lantern, Green Goblin, the Ultimate Green Goblin, which, that's a definite, woo, let me buy that right now. Ultimates was a good concept, but I never got behind it because I was invested, at the time, more into the actual Marvel comics. I didn't really care too much for the other ones. But anyway, I know exactly how you feel, though. I get stuff here that just shelf warms for so long that you sit there and just scratch your head like, is this ever going to go away? But yeah, and yeah, I think I've only seen one Daredevil here, and I own him. Um, yeah, I'd give him. I just give him to you, but I'm not gonna part out my Hobgoblin. So if I see one, I'll let you know. So anyway, yeah, yeah. So yeah, that wasn't as big as the Transformer ones. So I'll come back tomorrow with another Transformer rant of the week. But yeah, Hasbro. Uh, yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of what Hasbro has done, but at the end of the days, you can see on the surface, it looks like a great company that makes great toys. But once you get below that surface, for me anyway, again, I'm not sure how awesome those Star Wars figures are. The Transformers and the Marvel Legends suffer from the same things. They're too expensive. They're cheaply made, and they're recycled over and over and over again. I mean, the Toxin, Hyperion, and Anti-Venom. There's 3 bodies right there, and I'm sure there's plenty more out there that I just don't own, and I probably won't own. But there's 3 figures right there. Just like, we've got Off-Road, and then First Aid, and then we're getting Ironhide. So it's the same concept. They're just doing the same thing over and over and over again, where we're just going to get repaint after repaint after repaint after repaint after repaint. Retools might be here and there, but for the most part, it's just repaints. It's the only company that I used to love that I'm actually hating more than Hasbro at the moment has to go to Games Workshop. That's a different story for another day, but those guys suck. That is probably the worst company out there ever when it comes to being heartless and soulless and just does not give two shits about their the people that pay their bills, because them and Hasbro have that concept in their mind of, well, they're gonna buy it anyway, so let's just throw it out there. And I'm one of those people that, well, you know what? I'm not gonna buy it anyway. The Hobgoblin. That's probably the only reason why I finished that one was because it's a Hobgoblin. Had it been a Moon Knight, I would have done the same thing. I said this before. I'm a huge Goblin fan. I will buy the Goblins. I'm gonna buy the Ultimate Green Goblin because I have no use for it. I don't want a Hulk. I don't want another Hulk. That's what he looks like to me, and I know that's inaccurate, but that's the way he looks to me. So I'm not going to go for that at all. I'm not. You can't make me. I might go back and get the Thanos wave because I do need a Thanos. I'm actually looking at Thanos. I might get that because I do need a Thanos, but I might also just look online and see if I can find Thanos by himself. Ultron, I might get the Marvel Legends Ultron if I can find him. I also might get the Legendary Rider one from Toy Biz and get that one, or I might just get the Marvel Select one because he doesn't really need to fit in scale-wise as the other ones because Ultron can be bigger than the other characters. Am I going to buy the movie Age of Ultron? Ultron? No. Was he cool in the movie? Yeah. Is he the Ultron I want on display? No. So anyway, I'm done. Sorry.